Without further ado, today we have a very special, very important presentation from the former Gate Lab CIO, Maurice. The mic is yours. I'm super stoked to hear.
Hello, everyone. This is Maurice, and thank you so much for the intro. It's my big honor that I have the chance to kind of share a presentations on about like tokenomics. So yeah, let's start it. So I'm a former Gate Labs CIO, which is from Gate.io, one of the top exchange from globally. So what I do, I help to reveal projects, tokenomics, project details, the quality to decide whether the exchange would like to invest or not invest into the project. And also, because it's an exchange, so obviously we will do listing as well. So Gates Lab basically is like investment, incubation, and listing at the same time. So I was there since 2023, and then I recently just left and departed and start my own consultations to help projects to refine their tokenomics and also like to see how to design like a better business model in terms of with the tokens. So, okay, tokenomics. Well, there's a lot of jargon probably you may already heard from, the news or like when you talk to VCs or, in the industry. So that's like GameFi, SocialFi, L1, L2 chains, and some many other like L3. There's so many different like jargons or like DAX or DeFi, as you may heard, or the projects you're working on. But ultimately, I just want to share back. I joined the space when I was 20, when it's 2017, 18. So there's no such many jargons. It's just like, okay, we have a DApps and we try to make sense of tokens. So that's where tokenomics started that time. It's like, oh, we can't just say 100% is just for the usage. We still need to see how does it flow and how does it work. So I guess I will just briefly go over this a few major tokenomics over this vertical. What happened is like after I think it's like a few years in 2020 to 2021. So it gets started more like we should brand it more seriously. So that's why the sector started to get up and VC started to say, oh, I'm only like a SocialFi VC or I'm more like an infrastructure type of VC that only look at L1, L2. So I will start with GameFi. So GameFi basically, I think the most successful case is Step N in terms of the project. So there's always like a dual token tokenomics that happened in GameFi that back in the very popular trend together with the metaverse seasons from 2021 to around 2020 to 2021. So that was like really everyone is trying to do like a GameFi project, trying to design like it makes sense one. So at that time, so a lot of AAA companies like with perfect graphic design comes in and say like, hey, I have a game. I want to make the tokens out of it. Let's just start it with with it. So at first, people were just like, oh, I would just put like the game tokens as a like a reward points or just like a point system there to be in it. But however, this may not be the best design because with the gas fee that people need to claim from the MetaMask from like the claiming sites will discourage them from using it. Let's say if they all both get $10 worth of the reward that was claimed either in a token form or in a like an in-app purchase form that they can easily get it from like their mobile apps. 95% of the general public will definitely just I will just claim it in the in-app rather than like a token by like the setting up of the wallet and claiming and sell. So that's why when we have to design the GameFi tokenomics, we really need to think about like how can people encourage to be upgrading to use to accumulate the tokens rather than putting it like just a usage or utility tokens. So I guess that's something that to look at when designing the GameFi tokenomics. Of course, that's always come with the inflation issues that so that's why there's like a dual token system. One is like we call it governance token. The other one we just call it like more like in-app tokens. But nowadays, like when I see some new recent GameFi projects, they're really like kind of not using the dual token anymore. They transfer the infinite supply of the tokens into back to the rewards system. That also work as well. Like as long as there's one that is more like with infinite supply, one is like with limited supply as a governance token. Um, so yeah. So probably I would go into SocialFi as well. So SocialFi, as you see, like the trends kind of like come up, I think from last year, like Q4 to Q1, right now is still very popular. So there's quite a few of different SocialFi. One is like similar to your social apps with like social media function and features. And the other one is more like the general referee is that you make points or you make rewards that you kind of like engage with others. So I guess this is like how the SocialFi comes up with the tokenomics is more like rewarding people who do features and functions there. So the reward here is slightly different from the GameFi as you mentioned, as you can see, because game is more like the utility, but here it's like doing the quest or function or features. So it may makes more sense to have the utility or rewards here as it's more directly traceable in here as you like place like please do the quest of like tempos or retweet tempos. So people are easily to get reward in the SocialFi. And so L1, L2 chains. So it's more like people will use the token. So the whole tokenomics design is quite different. A lot of the token will be reserved for the ecosystem because for chains, they would like to attract different D apps like DeFi applications to be there, and they will reserve a lot of tokens to do partnership, and also like attracting rewards to B2B companies to come here and build their apps on the chain. So I just quickly see if there's any questions so far before I just dip next.
So far, all
Uh,
good.
okay. Sorry. Okay, good. Okay, so or talk about like listing and market making. So normally when you finish like the tokenomics and we go to like exchanges, you will see like from CMC there's like a few top central exchange with different rankings and volume. So you can choose like, okay, I would like to list on certain exchange, and you will start some negotiation with the BD, so there'd be like a price or like how much tokens you have to give them. So this is like quite straightforward, like business negotiation in terms of the pricing, and definitely for liquidity provisions, there'll be like certain requirement I would say that you need to meet. So there's like certain companies who would help to provide the initial liquidity in terms of like when you go on listing. So I guess this is like so that's quite a different combination that you can choose in between, but that is after designing the right tokenomics. I think then and or fundraising, then that definitely will go to you still have a listed token at the end with different exchange. So that would be like quite a um, important to kind of like get engaged early with the different exchange to talk to them because they may have an idea or thought about the business model or what you're doing. They may give you some advices to see like, okay, is this the best tokenomics that you're working? So I guess that's also important to bear in mind to start this early, I would suggest. Legal opinions. So I guess I will spend more time in here so definitely must get like some legal or lawyers uh, help for like reviewing certain like compliancy on the token design because as just mentioned in the game file social file I want to change so there definitely some of the things that you may be want to create it in terms of like hitting the legal that you don't want your tokens to be like a security tokens or you hit like this actually if you say that it's already defined as a security or like a financial reward already if the wording is not appropriate. So I guess it's would strongly suggest that to uh find like a relevant firm. So that's quite a lot of law firm are doing like a legal opinion check to just see like, let's say, I finished the tokenomics, I have the white paper, I want to like share with the investor or listeners to make sure that this is already checked by the legal like either your legal team or like a expert in legal opinion to make sure that all the wording that you share out won't cause any trouble. So I guess like this is one of the things that it should be like considered. And the other thing is like the setup of the entity. So definitely depending on your jurisdictions and exchange that you pick, so definitely the lawyer will have some suggestions over like what kind of entities and jurisdiction that you should set for your token issues company. So that's quite some options or popular options out there, but really depending on your own jurisdictions. And Founder's Insight is something interesting that I come across quite often, I would say, to see like in term it's similar to shares because like in shares that's like when two people or three people set up like a company, so there's like a share split like so fair split usually as it's not quite fair as always like the old people will say because like depending on your contributions the money you invested. So in the crypto world I guess that's also relevant in terms of like the token distribution. So I guess the whole concept is very similar as in like oh how much shares you will get is same as here like how is the team tokens gonna be shared, who's getting how much tokens, and also like depending on the vesting schedule and cliff as well. So I guess like if you're starting like a business together with your founding teams, I guess it makes sense to start the conversation early in terms of designing the tokenomics because like oh let's just put like usually it's like oh let's just put 15% or 20% in team tokens that discuss later on how to split. But you know like as mentioned here it would be great like to start the 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 whole conversation earlier before any unpleasant secret unhappiness will happen. And so that's like how I would say like do more team building to discuss on this, and you can earlier to resolve some potential issues. And yeah, so these are some very common questions on like the from when I met with teams. So when designing a tokenomics models for the entities as mentioned, so it will be best if to ask the legal opinion to see which to set up because sometimes you may need more than one entities that to uh maintain the operation of the company and also like the issuance and also like for different purpose. So best like to consult with like the legal opinion team that they can give you like what's the best way to set up. And for the vesting, so normally there's quite a lot of different reference or case you can find. Most common now, the vesting period range from 2 years to 3 years. So the total vesting time will be around 3 years. And for team don't normally there's like a 1 year or 6 month cliff. That is more like the industry standard right now. But yeah, I mean, when first in 2017, 19, there's actually not much clay for vesting. Most of the tokens get available quite soon, like in a year time. Now, like it's more well designed to become like 3 years or 2 years. And for the prevention of token inflation and deflation within the game, so as just mentioned earlier, so usually a due token in back in 2021, the trend, but now I see most of the game now is just having like one major governance tokens, with the secondary tokens becoming just like a reward points or reward system to help the inflation or deflation while everyone wants the token to continue to have a good performance from the game. On the game token mechanism, Paradise is designed to achieve stable loans. So this one is also challenging for gaming because like a gaming project has a life cycle. So like even I'm not talking about Web3 games, all the Web2 games will have like a general life cycle that lasts for 2 to 3 years. A lot of GameFi projects now will plan more than one game. So they have game A and game B and game C. So when the project's game cycle is almost reaching the end, they will launch a second game and will ask the community to use the tokens over the second game so that it becomes like more long-lasting tokenomics design over there. And it will be helpful for like companies that have a pipeline of projects before they started the first one. So let's say list the tokens on the first game, and then like in 6 months time or 9 months time, they will launch the secondary tokens. So the best is before the game dies. The token already like get on board on the secondary games, so people will transfer there, and you will enlarge your communities because it's more like more people will come and use and buy the token. So that's like the best way to kind of design and achieve this long-lasting tokenomics and design. For ICO, IEO, IDO, so actually this is all different jargon. Uh, and talk about like I do is more like you go on the desk first. So it's more like so just now when I talk about listing, I'm talking about central exchange. And that's some different decentralized exchange. You can list your tokens directly with creating your own liquidity pool. And you can definitely explore that. And that's different launchpad that can help to launch like an IDO. And IDO is more like prime listing or like on the central exchange. So it's similar to what discussed earlier. So the best strategy is really depending on the project objective, I would say, depending on like the scale and how much fund you have raised. And because if you want to do like a listing on the central exchange, there's certain like fees that you may need to pay, or at least some marketing activities to plan for. So it will cost some money to work with KOL as well. So definitely, or like I said, I want to do just like a list of tokens, like a very mean one, and then let the market to see how does it go and how far it takes. So definitely that works as well. So definitely it will be make sense to go to the IDO. So the pricing and quantity of each of the different stage will varies quite a lot. So really depending back on okay, how much fund have you raised for the project, how far the project wants to go. Back to like I think it's same as the listing and the discussion just now. So I guess like making a tokens really is the direction where on how far you want to bring the projects in. You just want token listed, or you have certain in mind that the brand, because of the branding of the change, definitely you may want to get something listed. Yeah, so I guess yeah, it was just a very quick high level presentation just now, so I will leave the floor open then.
Awesome. We got a couple of questions here on Discord by Benny. Benny's asking,
Yeah.
in 2017, you mentioned there's no vesting or cliff. What did you
Mm.
see in the industry that changed from then to today?
Yeah. So I guess like back in that time, I would say the good old time. Like that's less work when you so that will be that time is less. I won't say like totally no, probably some project may have it, but it's not like that common. So I guess it's like an evolution of ICO time that time, because ICO time is the first time that when people are starting to issue their own tokens with ERC20, and it's like a bunch of the tokens coming uh out there, and there's no one reviewing the token. That's basically that's how I didn't hear the word tokenomics that time much. It's just more like there's a project concept and they will list it. So I guess 90% or 100% of the tokens are already liquid. So I guess the industry has been much more sophisticated, I would say, from just like from 2017 to now, like after 6 7 years of development and involvement. So people say like, oh, like the whole tokenomics, I guess involvement comes maybe in that's more training change to see it. Maybe we have to make it more make sense, I will only say. So like people are not too liquid on the tokens to have like too much impact on the pricing. I guess that's like the whole involvement that slowly when VC started at first, that when token launch back in the times, a lot of them is just fair launch or don't have much of the VC backing. style. So I think it will be like more like a transformation to be a more comprehensive and also more sophisticated law.
Awesome, makes sense. Another question is, what do you look for as the most important aspect in a tokenomics paper?
I would say like I'm always finding the alpha. Uh, so back in when I review projects, like tokenomics definitely it has to make sense to me. There's no crazy things going on the cliff and investing, but I guess it's more like so tokenomics. I sometimes people will like kind of like mix together with the token, like the economy. So the token economy is more like okay, how I see the flow, what is the deflation, inflation, depending on the industry. As you see, some of them are now in AI or in big data related tokens. So I would use combine the like the economy there. So let's say if it is an AI project, they would definitely say, oh, we have a nodes and we used certain token to redistribute the rewards, yada yada yada. So, but what I see is like how is the burning mechanism, because the burning mechanism in the token economy will have to make sense, or there'll be like a big demand that people will drive to buy the tokens, and then I will can equivalence to how well the token performance may be in the future. It's more like because once before, if the tokens haven't listed yet, everyone is just on paper analyzing the potential, right? So I guess I was looking at the branding mechanism, I would say, in the token economy. So for the tokenomic side, so it's just like as I mentioned on different cliff, there's a lot of projects out there now with the white paper upload from CoinMegaCap that you can easily download and see. So I guess that's something that we can easily reference. But for token economy, it may be harder to it will really so that's also I love the working in the space is I always got fascinated on the new innovative way of using tokens from a team that based back on the industry. Let's say there's traveling company that's do a tokens and how they want to embed on it, and they're probably they're in the plan to collab with, let's say, different major traveling agency with the coins in the systems, how they turn into the rewards and then turns into like a tokens and get them listed. So I guess that's a lot of ways that to present the token usage. I would say, yeah, it's a token economy and token usage part. I guess I'm finding like the best offer as in the burning mechanism to convince not just me, but like VCs that there's like a certain nice growth of the token price value in the future.
And one last question from 0x33. Do you have an example of the best tokenomics paper you have seen to today? What is the project called?
Well, I would say Bitcoin. Just kidding. Yeah, I guess the best one, well, there's certainly in different field out there, but I think the most impressive one I would still say GMX, which is like a perpetual DEX. They're wonderfully designed to have the stickiness of the tokens that people want to keep using the tokens on that platform. And if I haven't recalled wrongly, they have one major tokens and they have a secondary tokens, and they have around two reward points, and they work amazingly well. It's everything on their website or white paper, the GMX model. So it takes some time to study. It takes some time to study like thoroughly. Even though it's like a DAX that your project may not be working, it's a decentralized exchange, but it's still like the concept of how you have to stick to certain tokens and you get the secondary tokens and how you use the secondary tokens to get the points, and the points can redeem like in a certain place back with the governance token. So I guess that one is quite sophisticated and well worked, and I remember like roughly the number, not quite sure right now, but 60 to 70% like the tokens are like in place and sticking and doing the activities that they want. So it's a really impressive like token design that time. Yeah.
Awesome, guys. We'll close the floor now for questions. Thank you so
Great.
much, Maurice. It was an amazing presentation. Everyone, if you have any questions, please ask on Discord. Maurice, is there anywhere that you can be followed on social media? Anywhere you want to share with the participants?
Yeah. So, can is there a whiteboard I can type here or never
Okay.
mind. So you can just search my name here, Maurice, on LinkedIn. So, you can find the one who is the former gig CIO. So you can find me. You can add me on LinkedIn. On Twitter, just meet Maurice. My Twitter handle is just meet Maurice. So you can see like a huge NFT monkey NFT. That's me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maurice. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We'll be ending the live stream. Please stay in touch over Discord. If you have any questions, mentors, participants, everyone is there. If you haven't found a teammate, please go into Discord, post under the subtopic, find a teammate, and start building, guys. It's only a couple weeks left to start submitting projects. Cheers, everyone.
Good luck.